and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. So if you're watching this the day that this goes up, there is a 25% off site-wide sale right now on plum paper. Use my code autumn10 to make sure you get that additional 10% off. But if you are watching it after, don't worry, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following me on Instagram, and you will not miss the next one. But I wanted to walk you through how I put together my planner that I use for our full homeschool year. Plum Paper doesn't just have planners, they do have notebooks. They've got different accessories to go with all of the things. They have stickers, and then they have stationery as well. And what I love about Plum Paper is that you can customize so many things. But let's go into planners. If I go over here, I like using the Homeschool Planner, so that is what I am going to click on. There are a few different ones, and I thought that I was going to get the bigger size this year since my oldest will be in second grade and my youngest will be in kindergarten, but I'm realizing there's not going to be a ton that I am writing still. Maybe next year I'll need this, but for this year, I'm still going to stick with my 7x9. I also really like that I can just use all of the same things I have in this. And so I will explain that a little more when I go into what type of planner that I use. I will show you why I choose the Homeschool Planner. So I honestly don't use this page. I've talked about that in my previous videos, but they have all of these extra areas that you can go through and look at all of these. I'm not going to go through each one. But if I click on this one, homeschool supplies, you can see that you can keep track of all of the supplies. If you are budgeting, this is really helpful. They have a field trip log if you would like to keep track of that. They also have the page that I find to be helpful is this attendance record. In my state, we do have to hit a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of days. So I do like this. It's right in the planner. It is easy enough to check off. And then another one that I love is the checklist. I use this area to keep track of the curriculum and where we are. I'm pretty sure I have a video where I talk more about that. So if I can find it, I will link it if you have questions about that. But again, without even building a planner, you can go to this and you can look through all of the different pages. In the different layouts, they have different types of homeschool planners. So if I preview this one, your layout is like this. You can customize all of the areas where it says your text here, but this is not the layout I normally go with, but I know some people would prefer this, and everything else is going to be the same. Everything else inside of it doesn't change. For the next one, the full week homeschool planner, you'll notice this is where the days are. On the previous one, the days were across the top. So on this one, the days of the week are this way, and then this is where you would write all of your information. This next one right here is just Monday through Friday. So you'll see it's very similar to the other one, but you don't have that Saturday and Sunday space. Some people like to just plan Monday through Friday because they're not doing a curriculum on the weekend. And so this would be good if you like your Monday through Friday on this side and your subjects or your kids' names, whatever you're putting here. If you like that across, then this would be a good layout for that. And then this last one is the layout that I use. And so I put subjects in these ones, and then I like Monday through Friday to be, well, there's Saturday and Sunday too on this, but I don't really use that. I like Monday through Friday to be across here. I honestly would love for them to offer one where Saturday through Sunday wasn't here, but this works just fine. And the first year I used it, I actually put pictures on this side. I didn't do that this last year, but I might do it again for 2025-26 because it just was nice to look back on. I haven't decided though. So since that is the planner that I want, I'm gonna hit order now. And now I am in the design space. And so there is a clear cover that you can get on it, and it's a clear plastic cover that protects. There's hardcover. I've never ordered their hardcover, but if you really do want to have a hardcover planner, that is also an option. Now, if I pick synthetic cover, you'll see it says clear covers are unavailable for disc punch, planners, and notebooks. That's exactly what I use. So I would stick with just the synthetic if you are planning to use a disc punch planner. I like to use it because I have a lot of things from my Happy Planner. So it allows me to use those things as well and save a lot of money so I don't have to buy more. But as you can see, there are lots of different covers that you can go through. These are just the top picks. There are more and more, and I could just keep scrolling. There's seasonal ones. So once you find one you like, that's how you can just get started. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I used 2 years ago, and I think I'm gonna go with this one this year. I might make this whole thing and then change the cover later, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. But right after that, you can just hit the next button, and that's when you can customize a little bit more. So I do like to have text. All I write is our school year, so 2025 to 2026. And you can change the shape to whatever you want. As I said, one of my favorite things is how much you can customize this. So I can change the color and they all coordinate with whatever pattern that you picked, which I think is just so cool. I'm gonna leave it like this, but if I wanted to, I could also change the font. But there are lots of different fonts that you could go through and use. The next page is all about your tabs as well as the colors on the inside of your planner. So Modern is going to give you a few colors, and as you can see here, the color is going to coordinate with the tab. Last year, this is what I went for. In neutral, you're gonna see not a lot of color. This is gonna be a lot more plain. This year, I think I'm going to go colorful. I'm looking forward to adding a little more color back in. So this year, I am definitely leaning toward colorful. So on this page, you can take away some of the color, some of the lines if you wanted to. If you like your tabs to be a certain color, but you don't want the color on the actual pages, then this is where you make that adjustment. You can tab this right here, and then all of that color is gone. So when you go to the pages, this stays just plain. It doesn't coordinate with the tabs. And if you didn't like the lines, you could also take those away. So if you want a more simplified look, this is the way to do it. Again, so customizable. I absolutely love that they have these options. I'm into the lines, I'm into the color, so those will stay for me. And then here is where you can really customize things. So first you need to choose if you're doing a Sunday start or a Monday start. As I said, I don't really put much in the weekends, so I like a Monday start, and I like these to be over here, out of the way. I barely pay any attention to them. And then if you click over here for custom text layout, that is where you're gonna get to fill in all of these spaces for what you want them to say. So this is the first section that I will be working in, and then I can put right here what I want it to be. It could say something that they already have preloaded, or I could make it say whatever I wanted. So if I wanted this to be my art supplies list for what I know is coming up for the week, then I can put that. So that is just something I really like. I think it's worth the extra cost to put the different text in that you specifically want. That's just something that I don't feel like writing out each time, but if that is something that would change for you, that's also a really good way to just leave it blank, and you can just leave that to be whatever you need it to be. I personally like it to say this week because there is something there, but I still feel like I can put in whatever I want. It can be a to-do list of things I need to get done. It could be grocery things I need to get. It could be art supplies, whatever. I think this week kind of just covers a bunch of different things. And then as you go through the different sections, it moves to the different parts. For me, this area works as notes, and I honestly don't end up writing very much in here, but I always find notes to just be a non-offensive heading to put there. And I only have my 2 girls, so I know some people like to put their kids' names here, and then they can fill in what they're doing for the week. For me, this is a great place to put the subjects. So what I've put here is language arts, history, geography, science, math, art, music, and then extras, because I figure I can fit both of them in these, and I can definitely put the extra things here because there are sometimes things we are doing that don't perfectly fit into these subjects. So now I have a space that I can put that, whether that be we are going somewhere and that kind of helps me see, all right, maybe I need to make the day lighter because we've got something that we're doing. I think this area is going to work better as an extra section. I honestly could leave it blank, but I know it would really bother me if it was blank. This next part is then what you're going to see on your month view. So I prefer a Sunday start for my month view, but if you wanted to, you could change that. If you wanted lines in your boxes, you can add those as well. I prefer open boxes for my month view, so I'm not going to have lines, and I do prefer a Sunday start. Something that they have here is no holidays or holidays. I do like to add holidays, but first I need to change this area. I do like a 12-month planner, but mine is not going to be starting until June. I like to add certain holidays. For me, I just do the country holidays, US, and these are fine. I don't have to take any of these off. It doesn't offend me if all of them are there. And then I don't add in the religious holidays because most of them are covered here for me. But I do like to add in the moon phases. I just think it's cool. I think it's something they started maybe last year, but I like to have that in there. So then you can see right here, this is all of the stuff that is then going to be in it, and I can look through at the different months. Now this last step here is going to be the binding. If you like a coil bound, you can just keep it just as it is. If you wanted it to be completely not punched at all, if that's an option that you want, then it's gonna have no binding. It's going to just be completely loose pages, no holes, nothing. This is what I go with. I go with the disc punch. As I said, I previously was a Happy Planner user, and so I have so many Happy Planner accessories, and these work for me. Now I also have all of my discs already, so I won't pick the discs, and it will let me know that I didn't pick any. So as you can see, it does let me know that I did not pick any, and there will be none coming, but I will use the ones I already have. Now this is where you can really bulk up your planner. This is where you can definitely add a lot more pages. Last time I had added, I think it's in lists, yeah. Last time I had added these to-do pages. I do not want those again. I did not use them all. I have more left, and that's the nice thing about having the disc punch. When I have pages that I didn't use, I can just use it in the next planner. So that is just something that I really like about having that. I feel it definitely saves me a lot of money, but they have different things here. You can have meal planning pages. You can have different tracking if you want, cleaning pages. There's just so much that you could add to your planner. So if you wanted this planner to be more than just a homeschool planner, there are definitely a lot of options, as you can see throughout this, based on just different areas. If you wanted some creative spaces within your planner, you can add scrapbook pages. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just know if you go onto the website and play with it, there are so many different things. But after that, that is my planner. And this is where you go through, you make sure that it looks the way you want it to look. And this is basically your final review here. Make sure that you've spelled everything the way that you want it to be spelled. Make sure your start date and end date are correct. Make sure that you just have everything that you want. And then you will give the approval to keep going. Because again, these are custom planners. They are made to be what you have chosen. So this is you saying, this is exactly how I wanted it to be. And when it arrives, that is what I'm expecting. So once you've added your planner to your cart, that is not the end. If there's anything you want to change, you can still edit, you can still change things. And again, if you're looking at this during the sale time, there is a discount of 25% and then an extra 10%. It's not in here because I didn't add it, but an extra 10% if you use my code. But I know it's a lot. I hope that helped. If you are looking at a plum planner, I really don't think you'll be disappointed. I have loved them every year. This is going to be my third year getting one. And if you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments section. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.